good. We're almost out of here. Okay. Before anything else, let's re-equip my good gear. Also, I better check on Alistair. Does he... Yeah, let's fix him up first. He was using Merrick's blade, I think. No, I don't think he was using Merrick's blade. I think he's using something a lot... Yeah, he's using Starfang. I was using Merrick's blade. And Duncan's dagger. Definitely luck that saved my ass. And the fact I had I pretty much had a friend remind me about this mission. Okay, let's find... Hey!
This is a nice estate, isn't it? What's on your mind?
Well, some people heard about the fact I was arrested. Let's go see the Jarl. I'm just impressed at myself, I guess. I'm patting myself on the back for this.
Maker's breath. It's good to see you in one piece, my friend.
Indeed. We have been praying for your safe return, Warden.
I think I've seen as much dungeons as I ever want to.
I can believe it. Though I'm afraid if we do not act quickly to erode Logain's support, we may all be seeing a great deal of Fort Draken in the future.
What happens now?
We will need to work together, and quickly. My father has gone mad. I didn't believe it at first, but he is gripped by a paranoia so severe it prevents him from seeing sense. He saw me as a threat, yet even now I'm certain he will be telling the nobles you are dangerous murderers that have kidnapped and mind-controlled me. He may even believe it.
Can you still take this? Can he still take the throne without you?
Perhaps. It will be more difficult for him, but if my father says the Grey Wardens are the enemy, many will believe it. He is a legend.
It's true. Our position in the Landsmeet is not strong, and this does little to help us.
At least that snake Howe is dead. That alone will not be enough, however. My father is committed to his path. You will need ammunition for the Landsmeet, and there I can help. You have only just arrived in the city, so perhaps you are unaware of some recent events. Denerim has been in turmoil since Ostagar. Many people here are angry or grieving. Strangely, the unrest is worst in the alienage. Few elves accompanied the army. They should have little reason to be upset, which means that Howe and my father must have given them reason. I don't know what is happening there, but I am certain my father has his hands in it.
A useful lead, Honora, but you could have sent this information with your maid.
That is true. I feared for my safety as Howe's prisoner. But to tell the truth, I sent Elena to you because I hoped we might join forces. You need that evidence for the Landsmeet. But you also need a stronger candidate for the throne. You need me.
What of Alistair?
I have no doubt Alistair is biddable enough. And decent. But even with his blood, he is no king. You think only I can see it? Not only that, Alistair is a Grey Warden. It will look like you are trying to put a Grey Warden on the throne, despite your claims. I am a neutral party, and I am already queen.
Honora, you are indeed Kaelin's widow, but...
I am the daughter of Ferelden's greatest general. Who do you think truly ruled this nation for the last 5 years? Kaelin. I am what this country needs, not an untrained king who does not even want the throne. I can help you stop my father. Consider what I have said. For now, I think I will retire to my room. Warden, when you have a moment, I ask that you speak to me in private.
Okay, she's good.
Well, she's quite spirited. I remember when Logain first brought her to Denerim. Poor Kaelin was a good boy, but Honora was always 2 steps ahead. Had him jumping when she snapped since the first time she batted her eyelashes. I cannot help thinking she may be trouble, but we should keep her close, all the same.
Why do you think she's trouble?
This is an alliance of convenience. For the moment, we are united against Loghain. Be careful how much trust you place in her. I do not for a moment think Honora means to give up her power easily. Still, I would rather have her where we can watch her than actively working for Loghain.
Aren't we planning to depose her?
Honora was a capable administrator for Caelan's lands, but she has not a drop of royal blood. We did not fight the Orlesians all those years just to lose our royal line in a single generation. Not when there's a surviving son of the blood.
Maybe Alistair should marry Honora.
Are you serious? No, never mind. I don't even want to hear the rest of this. You two just keep talking about me. I'm going to stand over here with my fingers in my ears.
That would certainly solve a lot of problems, and put forth the strongest argument before the Landsmeet to remove Loghain from power. With Therin blood on the throne, and Honora's wisdom and popularity, Ferelden could present the most united front against the Blight. Unfortunately, the marriage would never happen, unless they both agreed to it. And I suspect that might take a lot of persuading to get past her pride and his humility.
Why is it so important to put Merrick's son on the throne?
Ferelden was first united by Calenhad, the Silver Knight. For 400 years, his descendants have ruled Ferelden. That was the heritage we preserved from the Orlesians. And it is the heritage I will fight for as long as one of Calenhad's descendants still lives. Without that to unite us, we could scatter back to warring Terniers.
Alistair doesn't know the first thing about being a king, though.
No, I don't, which I've told both of you on many occasions. If Honora's turned against Loghain, I say let her keep the crown. It looks better on her anyway.
You're both wrong. With a few months of experience, Alistair will make a fine king. He knows how to lead troops to defend his land. He knows how to stand and fight for justice. He knows how to show compassion to those less fortunate, and how to trust to the Maker's guidance to know right from wrong. And he knows who to turn to for aid, should that training fail him. He will be fine.
Okay, you just convinced me to make him king.
We certainly
Also,
have a great deal to plan.
what do you think he's doing in the alienage?
Maker knows what that man is capable of now.
Got work
Of
to
course,
do.
if I might make a suggestion, go speak with Honora. She will either be a powerful ally or a powerful enemy, and the sooner we know which she is, the better.
Okay, let's talk to our friendly warden.
Hello again, friend. It looks as though you're no worse for wear after your stay in Fort Draken.
Did you know Duncan very well?
We went through our joining together, more years ago than I like to remember. He was exactly the same back then, tough as stone and just as grizzled. I think he understood sooner than the rest of us how ugly a choice it is to let the few be sacrificed to protect the many. Always left himself a soft spot for his recruits, though. Only way he ever let himself down.
I was hoping I could learn more about the Grey Wardens.
Well, I'd be happy to tell you what I know, but it seems to me that you've picked the important parts up yourself. Be firm in your beliefs, protect people from their own ignorance, and be as loyal as you can to your brothers, even knowing you'll share their deaths.
How many wardens are there?
It's tough to say. Only the fortress in Weishaupt has every record. But there are certainly a few dozen or hundreds in every nation in Thedas. The Anderfells are home to over 1,000. It's almost like the Archdemon chose Ferelden deliberately, knowing how unguarded it is.
Have you ever been to the fortress in Weiselpont?
Once only, and I'd rather not go again. It's far, lad. And very foreign. The Wardens there, they fight Darkspawn like you and me. But they're shaped by the winters there in the forest. They're a cold group and don't care like they should about the rest of the world. Their king is weak, and many Anders look to the Wardens to rule. I hate to say this, but some of them seem to want it that way.
How are the Wardens founded, anyway?
It was near 1,200 years ago, and no one knows for sure, except that it began with a group of Anders soldiers. Apparently, they defected from their king's army, vowing that fighting the Blight was more important, and traveled all the way to Tevinter themselves. They were the first ones to track down the Archdemon Dumat, and the ones to slay him, though none survived the battle. But they had picked up followers by then, and it was they who formally founded the Order, and were recognized by Thedas.
How long has it been since the last Blight?
Archdemons don't awaken on their own, you know. It takes the Darkspawn, tunneling and tunneling, searching for centuries to find one. And with no one to lead them, it must be sheer chance, or maybe instinct, which leads them. What's surprising isn't that it takes so long between Blights. What's surprising is that they succeed at all. But I imagine the old gods call to them. And it's that voice in the darkness which drives them through so many generations.
Okay, that's all.
The
That's
important
all.
thing to remember is, none of that matters. When you're facing Darkspawn, all you need to know is to stop them at all costs.
Okay. Now then.
Hello again, friend. It looks as though you're no worse for wear after your stay in Fort Draken.
What are your plans now?
When I'm well enough, I'm going to continue my journey toward Ostagar. Hopefully I'll be able to trace the heart of the Blight and where the Archdemon itself abides. If we want to defeat this Archdemon, we need to know where it is and how soon it might strike.
You're going alone? Shouldn't I go with you?
If there were more of us, I would agree. But as it is, I don't think we can deprive all the armies you've gathered of a commander. Good luck.
There's one last thing I need to ask
Hello
you.
again, friend.
Are these your papers?
I wondered what Howe did with them. Yes, these are my records. Names of the dead I recognized at Ostagar. What was left of Duncan's recruitment records. Some encrypted copies of the joining ritual that I retrieved from our Denerim vault. Those at least ought to have stayed private.
What vault?
It's located just off the Market District in the northern alley past the Nord Noble Tavern. I'll sketch out the code which will let you pass the lock wheel. Inside you can take your pick of whatever equipment remains. It is the stockpile the Wardens have kept for centuries for the defense of Denerim.
I should really get going.
Good luck to you.
Okay. Now I have to convince Alistair to marry her. This is not gonna be easy. Or it'll be very easy.
I haven't been here in a while. They've changed the dining room. Ask away.
I have some
Of course.
questions. That's weird. Could have sworn. Okay, maybe I should speak to Honora first. In a way, I think she'd probably have the right. A lot of markings in here. Ooh, a book.
All
Knowledge. This is probably her room. Yep. Time to talk to Honora. Hello.
Hello again, Warden. It is good that you came to speak with me. First, let me say that I knew your family. Eleanor, in particular, was dear to me, and what Howe did was unforgivable. How fitting he died at your hands. I will be blunt. I can see that your voice will be a strong one in days to come. It is to you that Eamon listens, and with good reason. My father must be stopped, but once that is done, Ferelden will need a ruler. I would welcome your support for my throne.
You think you're a better candidate than Alistair?
Do you disagree? You are a fellow Grey Warden. What do you think of Alistair's potential to rule? Never mind his willingness.
Being a good ruler requires more than ambition.
Alistair seems like a kind, well-meaning man, and biddable enough. These are admirable qualities, if not kingly ones. He also seems to be a fine Grey Warden, which is exactly why he should remain one and serve the kingdom by defeating the Darkspawn.
A kind king. How do you know so much about him?
Cousland knew of Alistair. It was Arl Eamon that kept Alistair out of the courts, as Merrick had desired. Oh, there are some who would follow Alistair out of respect for his Therin blood. The others would see this as Eamon grabbing for power. Who else do you think Alistair would turn to for help? Eventually, the nobility would return to the old days of constant warring with each other. Alistair's weakness would destroy everything Merrick built.
What's your alternative? Honestly, you don't seem to like Alistair much.
My feelings towards Alistair have nothing to do with it. I barely know him. I simply believe that I am what this country needs. I will fight for what I believe. Would Alistair do the same? Thus, I say again, I would welcome your support for the throne if you would give it.
I don't think it's as important as you believe.
No? You're a Grey Warden, and despite the fact that my father will paint himself as the only one who can protect the country from the Blight, it is not so. Secondly, you saved Arl Eamon from a plot that no doubt had its origins in Hal's sick little mind. People will not forget that. You are competent and powerful, and in the right place at the right time. Used to your advantage, these things could bring you far.
Why should I support you?
For years, I have ruled this kingdom as Cousland's queen. As much as they loved Cousland, all of the Banon knew this to be so. Cousland was a good man, but what is needed now is not another good man, but a good ruler. I sent Alina here not solely because I thought I needed help, but because I saw an opportunity. For us both. I need your support, Warden, and you will need mine.
This is honest. I'm trying to figure out a way to get them to marry. Are you proposing an alliance?
That is exactly what I am proposing. When the time comes, you support my bid in the Landsmeet to remain on the throne. You will be seen as my father's enemy, yet you will be in support of his daughter. You will be seen as supporting the interests of Ferelden, as opposed to solely those of the Grey Wardens. In return, I add my voice to yours. Do you see? Together we can do what alone we cannot.
Why not simply marry Alistair? Best of both worlds.
Ignoring that the man looks so much like Cousland, my recently dead husband, if you'll recall, my main fear is that he might govern like Cousland as well. But it is true that Alistair has Therin blood. To some, this is more important even than practical considerations. A union might be considered a compromise, but is this something Alistair even desires?
I think I could convince him.
Let me say this. If Alistair is willing to stand back and allow me to continue governing the nation, then I would be willing to have him as my king. It is my understanding that governing does not appeal to him anyhow. If that is so, this is a compromise I can live with.
Why would he agree to those terms?
Do you foresee me agreeing to place an untried, unwilling man on the throne otherwise? One whose largest decisions to date have consisted of which shoe to put on first? If it will settle matters more quickly, I am willing to agree to this. But only if it will benefit Ferelden.
I'll speak to him then.
Do so. I will be interested to hear what he has to say.
I'm actually hoping with everyone else that this is that he'll actually agree. Guess we'll find out.
So I'm guessing someone told Honora I was planning to steal her throne. She has a nasty glare. She wants to be queen. I get it. I don't trust her any more than her father, but I get it.
What do you think about her?
They say that Honora is smart, determined. She's supposedly the one who's really ruled here, not Cousland. She's her father's daughter. Me? I say that's where the problem lies. People like her and her father always think they're the only ones who can fix things. So everyone should just stay out of their way. What do you think? When the Landsmeet comes, you might even have a say.
Why would they listen to me?
I think they'll listen to a Grey Warden. One who just might save this country yet. So, She gave me the strangest look. Like she was sizing up whether the cow was ready for slaughter. I asked her why. You know what she said? It would be like marrying his twin. I misheard that, right? Tell me I misheard.
You don't look much like Kalen. You don't look that much like
I
Kalen.
can't say I like the idea at all. Why should I even consider something like this?
Should I persuade him? Or should I... Honestly, that's a tough choice. I guess I have to go with my cunning. It's a smart move, and I think you know that too.
Maybe you're right. I hate it when you're right. Go ahead, then. Tell her I'll do it if it comes to that. Now, excuse me while I go have a small heart attack somewhere. No big deal, right?
Honestly, I wish I would have worded that differently, but we got ourselves a king and a queen now. Hello.
Well, have you spoken to my lucky betrothed yet? Or will we be reduced to passing notes?
He's agreed to your terms.
He has? I wasn't expecting that, to tell you the truth. To marry Kalen's brother. Well, I suppose stranger things have happened. If it will truly help matters... Is this it then? I agreed to marry Alistair to retain my throne, and in exchange I give you my support. If not, then tell me now.
Marry Alistair and you have my support.
Done. So, we have a deal, Warden. I trust you'll keep your end of the bargain. Now, I suppose, comes the task of dealing with my father. That will be no small feat, of course, but I am certain you already know this. I imagine you have much to do. Is there anything else you needed from me?
Do you need anything?
No. And while I know your concern is hardly disinterested, still, thank you.
I have some questions, actually.
I've spoken with Alistair.
Or not.
Perhaps this mad betrothal won't be quite the curse it first seemed.
Yeah, he is a good man. I won't lie, he's a better man than Kalen. No offense to Kalen. Kalen was a good man, but in comparison to Alistair, he's an idiot. That's saying something. Okay. Let's check my journal. Lost Templar. Crime Wave. The Land's Meat. Okay, I'll talk to the Arl in a bit. First, I want to explore Denerim.
Yes.
You.
Indeed, yes.
Okay. Hey guys. Let's try to see if we can get some allies for the Landsmeet.